James Joyce isn't just one of the most influential writers of all time, it's also a pretty good cocktail. Let me show you how to make it. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt, I'm a whiskey nerd, and this week I'm making a James Joyce cocktail. Now, James Joyce, that guy up there, is probably one of the most influential Irish authors of all time, and in fact, probably one of the more influential writers of all time. He's responsible for some really classic literary works like Ulysses, and I'll put a link down to his Wikipedia page below if you want to learn more about him. But let's face it, you're here to learn how to make a cocktail, so let me walk you through the James Joyce cocktail. This cocktail can kind of be thought of as a riff on a Dubliner cocktail, and the Dubliner cocktail itself is like a citrusy riff on a Manhattan. If you want to learn how to make a Dubliner, there's a link up there to that video. So where the Dubliner uses Irish whiskey, sweet vermouth, triple sec and orange bitters to give a kind of a citrusy twist on a Manhattan, the James Joyce cocktail uses Irish whiskey, sweet vermouth, triple sec and lime juice to give a bit of extra freshness, a bit of extra zing to the cocktail, and it is really, really nice. I was inspired to make this cocktail after I appeared on a St. Patrick's Day live stream with Rob from Rob's Home Bar, Vino from 60 Second Cocktails, and Dave from Booze on the Rocks, where we made James Joyce cocktails, and it was really nice and really refreshing, so I thought I better share the recipe. And for what goes into the cocktail, it's very simple. We're going to be using Martini Rosso Sweet Vermouth, Bols Triple Sec, just a classic orange liqueur, freshly squeezed lime juice, and Writer's Tears Irish whiskey. This is a whiskey coming from Walsh Distillery, and it is a very, very nice whiskey. It doesn't just have a very appropriate name of Writer's Tears for a James Joyce cocktail, it also is a very nice whiskey. So it is made with single malt whiskey and single pot still whiskey, so there's no grain whiskey in this blend. So grain whiskey can sometimes have some sharpness, can sometimes have some kind of unpleasant notes to it, whereas this is going to be all sweetness, all roundness, all spice, with some nice caramel depth to it, so it should go really well in kind of any cocktail you make. So I think it's about time I make this cocktail. It's a stir drink, so we're going to get a mixing glass, we're going to get a nice rock of ice, we're going to pop that in there. We're going to start off with 45 ml of Writer's Tears Irish whiskey. This, like I said, it's a very nice, very sweet whiskey with some spice, a bit of ginger, butterscotch. It's a very nice whiskey. So that's 45 ml of Irish whiskey in there. And we're going to follow that up with 22.5 ml or 3/4 of an ounce of triple sec. Now you could use Grand Marnier, you could use Cointreau, you could use kind of any orange liqueur, but I've got triple sec, so that's 22.5 ml of triple sec. Then it's an equal amount, or 22.5 ml, again 3/4 of an ounce of sweet vermouth. Again, you could use kind of any sweet vermouth you want. I like the kind of bold flavors in the Martini Rosso, so that's what I use there. So that's 22.5 ml of Martini Rosso sweet vermouth. And lastly, we're just going to go in with 15 ml of lime juice. This is freshly squeezed lime juice. It is quite nice. It does add that fresh kind of zippy zing to the cocktail. I think that really, really adds a new dimension to the drink. So we're going to stir this down for about 20 to 30 seconds, and then I'll get ready to serve it. Okay, I can feel the outside of the glass is nicely chilled, so I'm going to get a nice little Nick and Nora glass. I'm going to put our strainer up top and just pour it in. Ooh, yes. And for a garnish, I'm just going to go very simple with a little lime wheel over the edge. Now real quick, before I taste this cocktail, if you're new here, scroll down, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. I put out new cocktail recipes every Friday and whiskey reviews every Wednesday, so if you want to see more, you know what you need to do. Now, let's launch it. Oh wow, right off the bat, the freshness of the lime hits you. It hits you in a nice way. Lime juice, some people don't like it. I really like it. I think it adds a freshness, a kind of a vibrancy to the cocktail. It makes your mouth water, and then lets you enjoy all the other flavors that are in there. Like the vermouth has a nice flavor. The triple sec kind of rounds it out and it gives it a nice wrapper, but the whiskey is still able to stand up as its own ingredient. Like, it's a very nice, very refreshing cocktail. You can get the kind of maltiness that comes through from the whiskey. So like I said, this is a single malt and single pot still whiskey, so it's entirely made with barley, and most of it will be made with malted barley. So it gives you that nice, deep caramel kind of funk to the drink, but then it's rounded out with some kind of nice orangey notes that come through from the triple sec, the wine, the kind of aromatized wine, those spices, those herbs, and all on top of everything else is that lime juice, just kind of giving you this nice kind of zip to the cocktail. There have got to be hundreds of riffs on Manhattans out there, but I think this is one of my favourites that I've found recently. It's a very nice drink, and if you've ever tried it, let me know in the comments below, or if you have a different riff on a Manhattan that you really like and you think is just better than everything else, let me know, because I'd love to try it out too. And I think that's all there is to say about this cocktail, so I'm going to keep enjoying this, and I'll see you next time. Sláinte. That's nicely chilled now, so we're going to get a, my god, that is this, that's not a glass. So I'm going to get our Nick and Nora, a nice Nick and Nora glass. I'm going to get our strainer up on top, if I can actually get it up on top. This is the last time I'm doing this. I'm just going to roll with a mistake next time.